Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and I am back with another everyday inspiration layout. And this month, Daisy got to pick our photo, and it is a super cool shelf just in her house with all kinds of fun stuff on there. So, a couple things jumped out at me initially. The first thing was the flying pig because it's super cute and I love the color. And the next was all the beautiful pieces of thread. So I have this paper from my Secret Not Secret kit, and it has all these super awesome clouds on it, and I knew that I wanted to do some hand stitching on them. So I thought, well, that's perfect because that incorporates the thread. And then as far as the color scheme goes, that comes from the pig and the idea of the fact that it's a flying pig and the sky. And so that's kind of funny, but that's kind of where my brain went as far as what I was pulling from this inspiration. And there's so many different things that catch your eye, like the jar of buttons. I was like, oh, I have so many buttons. Like, I think I could use this photo for another inspiration and pull the buttons and use all these buttons. And so just so many fun things. I don't know how I would use the coconut, but I'm sure I can figure it out. So that's kind of where my thought process was as far as the inspiration goes. So I did just take some white embroidery thread and hand stitch around a couple of the clouds on the background paper. And then I only have a few little scraps left from this kit. So the kind of corally one right there with the black polka dots, that was from my scrap bin. And I just thought it was a really good color. I had actually reached in my scrap bin for something else and saw that, and I was like, oh, that would be really cool. So I just tore that, added that Heidi Swap branding strip, and then I had that little scrap piece of paper with the triangles on it, and that was also from the Cocoa Vanilla Endless Summer. And so I just added that to the base. So I didn't want to hide any of the clouds, and since I wasn't hiding any clouds, it really only lent the idea where it was going to be a very heavy in the right lower corner of the layout, which I like. I haven't done a whole lot of that. And then I pulled some of these other scraps from 6x6 paper that I had laying on my desk, and I'm just going to use them to back my photo. And when I'm doing these layers, I'm not making them perfect. There's really no, thought process of how large or anything like that, how much of one is showing. I don't mind that it doesn't go all the way around. I actually like that, and I like that, some of the edges are torn. They're not all completely straight. And originally when I was kind of thinking about putting this together, my layers were much bigger, and they ended up covering some of my stitching. And so I knew that wasn't going to work. So in addition to the kind of cloud floating background I decided to use some tissue paper just to soften that whole big cluster up, and that does go all the way around. And I usually do 2 layers because I like the way that really lightens it up. It gives you a lot of texture. So I've gone through what I have left of this kit, and I'm just gonna do a couple clusters. So that flare is from Endless Summer, and it says The Good Life. I think this wood veneer, it's from my kit, so I think it's from it, but I'm not sure. That says Best Ever. And so I pulled that wood tag from my stash. And then I have a couple of die cut clouds that I also wanted to use and scatter around. And I will end up adding 2 of those. And I'm going to use some foam to pop them up a little bit to give them a little extra dimension. I was also thinking that maybe I wanted to stitch on those and maybe add some sequins, but I was a little lazy and was just anxious to not spend the time to do some more. So I do pull in the sticker sheet because I haven't used a ton of that, and I'm going to add some flowers and a banner sticker and some of the hearts. I really liked this love, but it was a little, I don't know if it was too green or if it was the square, and I had some circles going on. I couldn't quite figure out why I didn't feel like it was going to make it on the page, but I didn't. So I'm going to add a couple of arrows. 2 I believe are from the sticker, or 2 are die cuts and 1 is from the sticker sheet. A couple of hearts from the sticker sheet, a die cut heart right there at the bottom that says love you. I love this. And that is kind of how it goes. I do end up adding a little die cut that kind of looks like a sun up underneath that upper cloud. And it looks pretty cool, I think, because it's tucked behind there. It's almost like the sun is coming out of the cloud, and it says The Good Life. So this picture is just one of those pictures that you capture, you know, like an everyday picture. It was just the kids were hanging out with the puppy, and they're actually underneath the dining room table. I don't know why, but they were hanging out with the puppy down there, and the kids actually look like they're playing together, and they kind of like each other, which is super amazing that they look like that, because they don't play well together yet. I have good faith that someday down the road they will be best friends, but probably not till one or both of them are out of the house. But just cute picture of them. Just, you know, reached under the table and snapped it with my phone. And that circle that has the E on it says everyday. And I thought, well, this is just kind of one of those everyday photos, which, you know, I really do like to scrap. So there's that fun little sunburst. So if you haven't done so yet, please head over to the other ladies' channels, and I will leave the links down in the box below. They have some amazing layouts, and it's so neat to see how everybody takes their inspiration from one picture and we come up with 5 different layouts. So we would love for you to play along. Let me know down in the comments what would be your inspiration from this photo. And here are the close-ups. So remember to wear your crown and check out all of the other ladies. So we'll see you next time. Bye!